Cover your eyes if you're 18. All my diabetes, beep. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, Diabetic Cactus. Woo! I don't know what that intro was. If you don't already know me, my name is Sarah and I've lived with type 1 diabetes for over 20 years. Kind of crazy. Hard to believe, that's a very long time. And so this channel is just all about like diabetes, living with it, and like doing cool stuff. So I had an idea to make this video today because unless you live in the Southern Hemisphere right now, it is more than likely summertime for you, which means it's hot, hopefully, or very warm where you live. Hopefully you get some nice summer weather, which means that is a problem if you have insulin. Like if you're diabetic, you probably have. None of this is making any sense, but I'm just gonna roll with it. So as you know, insulin, up until I've been diabetic for so long that these things just eventually kind of like melt in your brain. You should keep your insulin in the fridge until you go to use it, and then it should be like room temperature, but you shouldn't let it get over a certain degree. I don't know. It's very like complex and like, oh my God. And everyone's always worried about their insulin getting too hot. I know I am, especially now that I live in the freaking desert where it's 100 degrees right now. For a second I thought that was what my blood sugar was because my Dexcom's right on top of it on my phone, but I'm 155. Anyway, if you're like me and you live in the desert or you live in any warm climate where in the summer it gets warm, that literally didn't make sense, but again, I'm just gonna go with it. You probably worry about your insulin getting warm because I know I worry about it and get stressed about it and have anxiety over it because you don't want to ruin your insulin, which is like one of the most expensive liquids in the world. Anyway, so I thought I'd make this video on how to keep your insulin cool, or just some tips for keeping your insulin cool over the summer. I know there are a lot of things out there that I like don't have that I don't have to show you, but that exist to keep your insulin cool, but I'm just gonna show you what I have and my like tips and tricks for keeping your insulin cool. So to start, yes, not to start, but I live in Arizona and it's hot, like all the time. But I love it. I hate the winter, I hate the cold, so I'm gonna say I love the heat. But even in the winter, it gets very warm outside. So I feel like I'm constantly worried about my insulin being hot or overheating or just like, I always get a little stressed out, but I try and calm myself. So the first thing I have is my Frio bags, and I keep my Frio bags in this bag. Cover your eyes if you're 18. All my diabetes, beep. One of these bags. I used to use this for like carrying on my diabetes stuff, but I since have carried it in other stuff. So now I just use this to store all my Frios. So what a Frio is, if you don't know, let me take out my collection here, is basically it's this little like, this one's very dusty, but they come in all different shapes and sizes. I have this one, which is like 4 pens. I have this one, which could be for your insulin pump. I have this one, which could be just for insulin vials. I have another one for the pens. I think this one has a cool design on the inside. It does. Daisies. They have all different types of cool designs. Anyway, I'll get to the point of what a Frio even is. And I have this one, which is also a cool design. Basically, sorry, this is very long-winded. Basically, they come with these inserts that will go in like these, I don't know what material this is, these cloth pouches. They come with these inserts that go in here, and these have gel beads in them where basically you submerge them in water for I think up to 20 minutes. That's what I usually do mine. Submerge them in cool water for usually up to 20 minutes, and the gel beads absorb the water and will remain cool for like honestly a couple of days. Mine usually last me, I want to say like 4 days before I have to, maybe like 2 days before I have to think about refilling it, like resubmerging it, or like 4 days total till I'm like done using it. So these are great. I love using these for traveling and like just, I mean honestly I use them for everything, for any activity. So These I would say are like #1 product for keeping your insulin cool in the warmer times is what I will call them. And again, they come in a million different designs. They come for pens, they come for pumps, they come for just insulin vials. I think there's another size that I don't have, but you can get these on Amazon. Check out the Frio website. I feel like they always have like cool new designs, and I'm always like I have so many. Like, I don't need another one, but I like the designs and they're really fun. And so, like, I don't know, I just like to buy them. So, I like being cool. And especially when they have cool diabetes supplies. But, as I was saying, these are very handy to have. I would say this is like the #1 thing. I fly with this. It's never gotten flagged. I know some people have said like, oh, TSA is gonna flag your Frio thing. I personally have never had that happen, so, but if it is, I would just describe what it is and say like it's a cooling thing for my insulin, you know, it's not a bomb. I also had someone recently say like, how many uses do you get out of them? I've used all of these like many times. As you can tell, they're dusty, they're dirty. This pouch is especially dirty. Ugh. I think this is the one that a goo exploded on. I have no idea. To answer that question of how many uses, I reuse these a bunch of times. I don't think there is a certain amount of like uses you can get out of them. I just always make sure while they are still like inflated to leave them out, if you will, so that they can dry and they don't get moldy like somewhere weird and gross. I wonder if you can wash these. Probably not with the gel beads, so I'm not even gonna start to talk about that. But Frios, I would say, are the #1 thing. Frio cooling products. Hey, there's a tag. Oh, it says, please refer to instructions for cleaning. I should probably look at that and clean these. Oops. Anyway, so that is my #1 thing for keeping your insulin cool. I totally lost my train of thought there for like 3 seconds. The other thing is a Yeti. So when I moved to the desert, I actually was gifted a Yeti cooler, one of the bigger ones, which I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. I was gifted a Yeti cooler for Christmas, and I was like, this will be perfect. I keep it in my car because I live on the 3rd floor. It's too much to like haul up and down. But I will take you out to my car to show you it. Okay, you can't even see me. I walked all the way out to my hot car to show you guys my Yeti cooler because I really like it. So I customized it a little bit because when I bought it, they were like, I heard someone say like, oh, I don't want anyone to steal it, so I'm thinking about like putting different colors on it, and I was like, oh, that's a good idea. So let me show you, hold on. So here she is. It has like orange things on it. I thought the orange went really nice with the blue, and I put stickers all over it. There's like Saguaro, Phoenix, Maryland. All of my stickers are like cactuses, or I love this one. Oh, and there's more over here. I didn't even remember that I put these back here. There's more back there, but I can't even see them. But it's a really nice, really big cooler. It has like a little, oh, I have a bottle of water in here. It has a little hanger thing in here, and then yeah, it's just basically does a really good job at keeping things cool in really hot circumstances. So that's my Yeti cooler. I'm scared that there's a snake behind me in this like bushes, but I think it's fine. Everything's fine. I don't know. I'm scared of snakes. Anyway, that's my Yeti cooler. So that's my Yeti cooler. It's really great. I really love it. I am laughing because I used to like not be a Yeti person, but ever since I moved to Arizona, my Yeti collection is slowly growing. Something that I want to buy, but I haven't bought yet, is a Yeti like lunchbox, and I really only want to get that, which like sounds dumb because it's like $80, but I only want to get that just to like have something to keep my insulin pump in when I'm at the pool, and I don't have the luxury of like, because I don't want to leave my pump all the way up here because it's kind of a far walk to the pool. So like, what if I need insulin? What if I need insulin, period. So I really want to get like a Yeti lunchbox, or I haven't figured this out yet, but putting my insulin pump in like a Yeti cup, maybe with some like ice and a sock so that like my pump doesn't get wet, but it stays nice and cool. You don't need to keep your insulin like super cool, but you definitely don't want to get super hot like it does here. So Yeti, my Yeti collection is growing. I'm thinking about buying a Yeti lunchbox. I'll have to wait because I can't spend $1 million at one time, even though I would love that. Yeti lunchbox, Yeti cup, honestly probably will do the trick, which I have a big one of those. I should just use that. Well, getting a lunchbox would be kind of cool, and then I would have it, and I think it would last me a really, really long time. But anyway, this video is not about Yetis, but I do love them. The only other thing, those are my only two main things that I use to keep my insulin cool personally. I obviously always make sure that, you know, my stuff is in the shade. I make sure if my pump is like in the sun, I try and move it to like the other side of my body that might be in the shade. The only, like when I got my pump training, I was like, do I have to worry about, especially in Arizona, keeping my insulin cool, like in my pump? And she said no, because that insulin that is in your pump is usually like right next to your body, which is obviously like 98 degrees, 97, whatever your body temperature is. So it's usually like by the time you change it, it's used to that higher temperature anyway, so you don't have to totally worry about it. You just have to worry about obviously keeping it in your car or in, you know, in the outdoors. But I keep my insulin all covered if I am going somewhere or traveling. I always make sure it's in my backpack, and I always make sure, I should honestly talk more about that. If I'm traveling, I bring my insulin obviously with me. I don't put it in my like checked luggage if I check it, or my carry-on. I keep it in my backpack. And then until I am in an air-conditioned space that I will be staying in, like sleeping in, I bring that backpack everywhere with me. So if I'm going inside, I bring it inside. If I'm driving in the car, I obviously put it in the car, but I don't leave my backpack in like the hot car, if you will. So yeah. The only other thing I'll say, and this is only really true for myself, is like my pump sites only really last like 2 days because I use a lot of insulin. So I don't totally get worried about the temperature getting to my insulin that's in my pump. But if I'm like kayaking or doing a water sport thing, I just stick it in the Frio in my cooler like I showed you, and that's that. So that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope this was helpful. I know I get a couple questions every now and then about keeping your insulin in the heat or keeping it cool when it's hot. So I hope that answers some questions. And that is it. Don't forget to like and subscribe, hit the notification bell, follow me on Instagram. I post all the time on Instagram. I'm really making an effort to be better about that. And I upload on YouTube every Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern Time, 12 p.m. Pacific Time, which would be 1 p.m. Mountain Time, 2 p.m. Central Time. I know my time zones. Thank you to my job for that. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed, and don't forget to, I already said that, what am I saying? I'll see you guys in my next video. Goodbye. Can you tell I've had too much coffee today? Because I have.